Hey y'all, since the internet is pretty much a buzz with all this Epstein stuff, let's not keep let it go to die. Okay, we're gonna keep this one going. But anyway, this is Time Magazine. Let me look at the date on this. It was originally posted January 4th of 2024, 12:05 p.m. Eastern. And then okay, it was updated February 27th, 2025 at 4:45 p.m. Co U and then Saucier Berga, I guess, was the writers. But it says the biggest names from Jeffrey Epstein's unsealed court documents. The names of acquaintances and associates of wealthy financier Jeffrey Epstein, including that of former U.S. presidents and British royalty, were released on January 4th, 2024, in a set of court documents that were part of a suit against Ghislaine Maxwell in 2015. The unsealed documents are part of a defamation lawsuit filed by victim Virginia Roberts Giuffre. Maxwell was previously called or has previously called Giuffre a liar after she alleged that Epstein and Maxwell had abused her. That case was eventually settled in 2017, but Maxwell was later sentenced to 20 years in prison for recruiting young girls for Epstein to sexually exploit and criminal investigation of Epstein's acts after his death. Names of figures that were previously associated with Epstein, such as Prince Andrew and former presidents Donald Trump and Bill Clinton, were mentioned in the court documents, but there was little new information outside of what was already known to the public. Some documents have previously been released in other court cases, while Epstein's high profile contacts have been covered extensively in the media. In December 2023, U.S. District Court Loretta Preska ordered the documents to be released, though she gave people until January 1st, 2024 to appeal the order in case they did not want their name to be revealed. The names of victims who were minors when they suffered abuse were not released, though some have previously spoken out about Epstein's actions in media interviews. And then editor's note on February 27, 2025, Attorney General Pam Bondi released a cache of documents related to the late sex offender, but a review of the documents found that they included heavy redactions and mostly information that had previously reported. I'm going to open that in a new link, maybe do a video if there's anything even available. Here's what to know about the documents released in 2024 and earlier, and whose names appeared in them. What the documents revealed. For the most part, the documents say little about the actions taken by individuals outside of Epstein, though there is a 2016 deposition from Joanna how do you say that name? Schoberg, I don't know. One of Epstein's victims that mentions politicians and figureheads in the U.S. and abroad. While celebrities like Bruce Willis, Cameron Diaz, Cate Blanchett, Kevin Spacey, Naomi Campbell, and Leonardo DiCaprio are also mentioned in the records, they have not been accused of helping Epstein in any capacity. Schoberg, I guess that's how you say it, was only asked if she had met the aforementioned people, which she denied. Connections to Epstein previously led high-level executives to resign from their positions, including Barclays chief executive Jess Staley, Jean-Luc Brunel, a French modeling agent suspected of scouting girls for Epstein, killing himself in a Paris jail in 2022 while awaiting trial for rape accusations. The documents on Wednesday confirmed the scale of both Epstein's alleged sex trafficking ring and his powerful social network. Prince Andrew, the younger brother of King Charles, was one of the names referenced in the documents, mentioned by a witness for touching her breast. Andrew was also previously accused of raping Giuffre when she was a teenager. After a lawsuit filed by Giuffre in 2021 and amid growing public pressure, Andrew was forced to relinquish his military titles and public duties, even as he repeatedly denied the allegations. The two settled the lawsuit in 2022 after Andrew paid Giuffre an undisclosed sum of money. The case against Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted sex offender who would lure young girls under the impression that they would be giving him massages that would then become increasingly sexual in nature, according to the 2019 indictment against him. Jennifer Arrayos, one of the victims, said that Epstein would invite her to his house and pay hundreds of dollars after her visit. While they initially spoke about life and goals, he later became abusive, Arrayos said. Epstein had long avoided facing any consequences for his actions. He was first investigated for sexual misconduct in 2005 after a woman claimed that he had molested her teenage stepdaughter. Palm Beach police eventually charged Epstein with counts of unlawful sex with the minor in May of 2016, but the state attorney, Barry Kreischer, whatever, sent the case to a grand jury, which indicted him with one count of soliciting prostitution. The charge was minor, leading to much criticism and causing the FBI to open a federal investigation against Epstein. But Epstein ended up serving a short 18-month sentence in 2008 for recruiting an underage girl for prostitution after he struck a plea deal with U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta to avoid being charged with any federal crimes. Epstein later came back under scrutiny in 2018 after the Miami Herald looked at Acosta's role in negotiating a short sentence for Epstein. In July 2019, Epstein was arrested after federal prosecutors looked at his behavior between 2002 and 2005. The case against him revealed that the victims, some as young as 14, were paid to provide sexual services to him and his friends and to recruit other young girls to his circle of victims. Epstein's employees would also sexually abuse the young girls. He was facing charges for sex trafficking and conspiracy in July 2019, when 1 month later he died by suicide in a New York federal jail. The investigation continued after his passing, leading prosecutors to convict Maxwell for sex crimes in connection to her dealing with Epstein. Here are other names high profile mentioned in the documents. Bill Clinton, the former president, was mentioned in the documents released on Wednesday in Schoberg's, I guess that's how you say it. I'm sorry if I'm messing it up. Testimony that Epstein had told her Clinton liked them young, referring to girls. She also said that she knew Epstein had dealings with Clinton, but did not know they were friends until later media reports. The former president's ties with Epstein has long been the subject of media scrutiny, intensified in the wake of the financier's indictment. The two had connected while Clinton was working on his nonprofit group, the Clinton Foundation, and in 2002 they took a trip to Africa on Epstein's private jet. In 2019, Clinton's office said that the former president did not know about Epstein's terrible crimes and that he had not spoken to Epstein in well over a decade. A spokesman for Clinton told CNN on Wednesday that it has been nearly 20 years since President Clinton last had contact with Epstein. Records show that Giuffre's attorneys wanted to get a deposition from Clinton. Giuffre, the plaintiff in the defamation lawsuit against Maxwell, did not accuse the former president of doing anything with her, but attorneys saw Clinton as a key person who can provide information about his close relationship with defendant and Mr. Epstein and disapprove Miss Maxwell's claims. Donald Trump, the former president whose relationship with Epstein was also widely reported, was also mentioned in Schoberg's 2016 deposition. Schoberg testified that she and Epstein once made an impromptu stop at Atlantic City due to poor flying weather. Asked if she had given Trump a massage, Schoberg said no. Trump once called Epstein a terrific guy, but later said he had a falling out with him. I don't think I've spoken to him for 15 years. I was not a fan of his, Trump said in 2019. Michael Jackson, Schoberg recalled meeting late musician Michael Jackson at Epstein's house in Palm Beach, but said no when asked if she had massaged him. Sarah Kellen, Epstein's former assistant, was named in testimonies of victims detailing their encounters with Epstein. She was said to have helped schedule his massages, which his victim said was a euphemism for sexual services. A judge had described Kellen as a criminally responsible participant in Epstein's scheme, but Kellen was never charged and has remained out of the public eye. Kellen said through a spokesperson in 2020 that she herself had been sexually and psychologically abused by Epstein for years. John Luc Brunel, John Luc Brunel, a French modeling agent suspected of scouting girls for Epstein, killed himself in a Paris jail in 2022 while awaiting trial for rape accusations. Giuffre and his Giuffre and her deposition that she was sent by Maxwell to have sex. Good grief, sorry. Giuffre said in her deposition that she was sent to Maxwell to have sex with Brunel at many places. The documents also say that Brunel would bring girls as young as 12 to the United States for sexual purposes and farm them out to his friends, especially Epstein. Man, these people are sick. Bill Richardson, Bill Richardson, the former governor of New Mexico, who died in September, how convenient, was also mentioned. Giuffre said in her deposition that Maxwell had instructed her to give Richardson a massage. In 2019, a spokesperson for Richardson denied he ever met Giuffre. According to Las Cruces Sun News, Leslie Wexner, the billionaire founder of L Brands, which owns Victoria's Secret and Bath and Body Works, was also mentioned in Maxwell's deposition. When asked if she had ever provided Giuffre with an outfit of a sexual nature to wear for Les Wexner, Maxwell said categorically no. Epstein was Wexner's money manager and a trustee of the Wexner Foundation during an L Brands investor conference in September 2019. Wexner called Epstein's action abhorrent. Wexner said he cut ties with Epstein in 2007. Glenn Dubin, hedge fund manager and billionaire Glenn Dubin, was mentioned in the documents, with Giuffre testifying that Ghislaine told me to go to Glenn Dubin and give him a massage, which means sex, Giuffre said in her deposition. Dubin has previously denied Giuffre's allegations. Dubin's wife, Eva Anderson Dubin, was also referenced in the unsealed documents. Maxwell said in her deposition that she was friends with Anderson Dubin. Alan Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz, Epstein's lawyer, was also mentioned in the newly released records. The documents say that Epstein forced a minor to have sex with the former Harvard law professor multiple times. The documents also say that Dershowitz was an eyewitness to the sexual abuse of many other minors by Epstein and several of Epstein's co-conspirators. Dershowitz would later play a significant role in negotiating the NPA on Epstein's behalf. NPA stands for Non-Prosecution Agreement, which allowed Epstein to avoid serving a severe sentence when he was first charged with soliciting a minor for prostitution. Of course, I'm on that list. I was his lawyer. I flew on his plane, said Dershowitz in a YouTube live stream after the list came out. Marvin Minsky, a computer scientist and former MIT professor Marvin Minsky, was also mentioned in the documents. Giuffre said she was asked to have sex with Minsky when he went to Epstein's island in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And anyway, that's pretty much it for that. If we want to watch maybe a couple minutes of this video, well, it's like 3 minutes, but we'll see what this guy's got to say. Let me turn the volume up. Oh, never mind. It can't be played. Stupid. Anyway, I got more stuff for y'all, so don't worry. I'll be back. But I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.